We've seen massive increases in gross profits by implementing these few changes. Have you ever lost money on a job? What did you do to make it never happen again? Hopefully, it was a positive situation you could learn from. Learning from the success and mistakes of others who are further along than you, people who have been where you are, will expedite the rate of which your business can grow. For example, if you go to a conference one time and only one speaker teaches you something that grows your business by 30% every year, you might want to seek out things that have the same return on investment in the future. We're going to bring that to you by discussing strategies to keep your gross profits near 50% moving forward so you can enjoy more money for yourself. And at the end of this video, we will talk about very controversial numbers that will help us understand the difference between markup and margin. So stay tuned for that. You do not want to miss it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Think of a map. Put an X right where you are. Now think of the journey it is going to take to travel where you need to go. Will you need to take a train? How will you get around once you get where you're going? Are you going to pack a suitcase or are you traveling with only a backpack? Now apply the same idea to your business and think, what can I take on right now? What can I do to immediately grow? What's my plan? What's the strategy behind it? There are different strategies to every business. So let's start with entry-level strategies and move into more ideas that would work for more established businesses. When getting started, you're building a strong reputation. You may even be working at under market value rate while you earn some reviews, gain experience, and acquire more tools. At this level, we're keeping our expenses low and over-delivering in order to establish a strong foundation and trust for repeat customers. This means you have to be building strong relationships and spending your time learning not only the craft, but how to make your client happy. After a while, you will be spending even more time with clients, and you will need to account for all the time spent during the process and charge accordingly. Your experience will grow, you will get faster at your job and start hiring a crew. Now think about labor costs and time driving from store to store as you take on more clients. What's your time worth? When you accidentally underquote man hours and end up doing the job for free, it's not worth it when you know that you can double the rates of the materials. It's just one of the simplest ways to increase your bottom line. Somebody has to coordinate materials, might as well charge for it. That leads us to a big conversation of what gross profit margin is and why it is important to understand it. Gross profit margin is calculated by subtracting the cost of goods sold from total revenue, then dividing the result by total revenue. Maintaining consistent 50% gross profit margin is essential for covering overhead costs, investing in growth, and ensuring a healthy bottom line. It provides a buffer against any unexpected expenses and market fluctuation. It really allows you to thrive in challenging times. To understand those margins, let's dive into some strategies. Strategy number one, accurate cost estimation. When was the last time you took time to actually walk through the hardware store and lumber yard before a project to get cost of materials? That's an extreme, I know, but you can also jump on your Home Depot webpage just as easy. Prices on things change, and you start giving estimates to clients and you're inaccurate, you can easily cut into your own profits. You also have to make sure that you accurately estimate the hours that your guys are going to be spending on the project, because whether you are a cost plus or lump sum contract, your clients will not be happy if you go crazy over budget and have to ask for more money. It's crucial to have detailed estimates reflecting the full scope of work, nothing missed. This leads to our next strategy. Strategy number two is markup. Marking up the projects is truly up to you if you think about it. You obviously do not want to price yourself out of the market, but also don't want to bid too low and get every client that calls. Your own personal ability to project confidence when giving them a higher price estimate will determine if they will do price shopping or just immediately trust your business. Once your clients and potential customers start to know you and can trust you from their peer reviews and the quality of your brand, they will not be as surprised when the costs may be a little bit higher than they anticipated. You have to make a living. And if you're doing this at a full-time level, a person paying for high quality will very much pay more for services they know will meet their expectations. Once you start to gain that reputation, you may want to raise your prices 10, 20, 30% up and think about having less clients, but making more money because of the price increase. Each and every store run, client call, truck breakdown, employee mistake, they all come out of your pocket, whether it's time or money, and you're just now starting to compensate yourself for this fact. Your clients want service all the way around. And if you fail to give them quality customer service at the end of the project, all because it took too long and you barely made any money, it's no good for you or them. Strategy number 3, streamlined operations and efficiency. When you build a team of marketing, contractors, technology guys, you end up with a machine that pours leads and runs as flawless as you can maintain it. What are the leads without people to do the work? And what are the projects if they are not profitable? Managing your finances, your clients, teams, and your time will be a challenge, but to scale to the high levels, you need people and systems. What kind of software do you use to manage your clients? Manage their projects and the people servicing them? How do you manage your books? Do you track your expenses or do you need help? Who does the work? Is it you or your highly skilled team? See where I'm going? If you need a highly skilled bookkeeper as a part of your team, send me a message or schedule a call. Link is in the description. By the time you're scaling past the technician in your business, you have to make a decision at what level do you want to grow. You can aim for 4 trucks of salesmen, or you can bring 3 crews of laborers to do the jobs that one salesman brings in. Which part of the business are you personally going to be responsible for, and what are your limits and shortfalls to work on? We're thinking beyond the efficiency of our tools. We're talking about the systems for dealing with things like leads, materials, people. Not only leads that come in, but how do they come in and who manages them? Some people are making $100,000 a year and they take on the role of all of these people, and it's completely fine. And congratulations to the people who have businesses like this. But if you want to grow bigger, you need to stick to a plan and put yourself in the most important seat, wherever it might be. Strategy 4, risk management. That involves identifying, assessing, and mitigating the risks that could affect your project costs and schedule. You have to develop contingency plans so you can minimize the likelihood of costly disruptions and protect your cash. Can you think of a good risk to take on your business? Things like expanding your available services or trying a new platform for leads. Both are risks, but they may be rewarding. You wouldn't go to a casino to bet your whole bank of money. In the same way, you wouldn't take a gamble on your own business. You have to identify your level of risk and what you're comfortable to lose. I guarantee you say you're risky until you lose 10, 20, or $30,000 on the investment that goes bad due to a bad deal or a proper management. This is particularly wise to know where your expertise lies. Is it bathroom remodels? Is it floor installs? Maybe you don't touch a tool, but rather coordinate teams you've built relationships with over your business years. Remember here, the goal is to be at 50% gross profit margin. Now, as I promised, let's talk about margins versus markups. This whole time we have been talking about having a 50% gross margin, but does it mean that we need to apply a 50% markup to get that result? Unfortunately, no. That is the whole difference between the two. As you can see on this easy chart, to get 50% margins, you have to apply 100% markup. If you apply 50% markup, you will end up with only 33% margins. I know what you're thinking, girl, you're crazy. You cannot do that. And I would disagree. You can, depending on the projects that you do. For smaller projects, it's very much doable to use such markup. For bigger projects, it may get challenging. I get that when you build a $300,000 house, you cannot charge $600,000 for it, but you are at this point of making high revenues. Your overhead percentage will be way lower, so you can afford to charge less of a markup. So let me give you a very simple math example. Let's say you have a project that you estimated the cost of that project is going to be $100,000, right? So our cost is going to be $100,000. Let's say you put in a 20% markup to that. So our revenue is going to be $120,000, right? With a 20% markup. Well, the average, that leaves you with a gross profit of $20,000. Now, $20,000 is 20% of the cost, but it's not a 20% of the revenue, right? It's only 16.7%. Even though you applied a 20% markup here, your margin is going to be 16.7%. Now, usually the overhead that I'm seeing with the clients is between 14 to 16%. So let's take a 16% of the overhead that we need to take out. Well, 16% of 120,000, that puts us at 19,200. What's your overhead, right? Your insurance, your marketing, your fuel, all of those expenses, legal, your accountant. What are you left with? You're left with $800. So you are doing this massive project, $100,000 project, just to end up with $100. That, I don't know if that's worth to you, but what I'm trying to say is that, yes, it's good to decrease your overhead. And yes, you need to have a higher revenue so your percentage is going up. But at the same time, you can't continue to charge 20% markup and expect that you are gonna get 20% in your margins. And that is where I'm saying, to get that 50% margins right here, you need to charge 100% markup right here, because out of that 50%, 16% would just go to your overhead, and whatever is left will go to your bottom line. But remember, your ideal client, the one you want to do business with, wants a quality job as much as he's willing to pay for it. So charge enough money that you can reach 50% gross profit margins. You guys, if this resonated with you, please share this with your peers, like the video and subscribe. Let's spread this awareness to more people in this industry. Till next time.